going to open way up because a bunch of bargain hunters are out there at the very least. Donald Trump was on this program yesterday talking about how one of the contributing factors was the fact that we and China, we are coupled, our economies. He was on our program, then last night he went on with Bill O'Reilly, and Bill asked him about the president of China who's going to come to Washington, D.C., and the president's going to throw him a big state dinner. What would Donald Trump do? Here was his answer.
This is the greatest theft in the history of America, with the money that they've taken out. We have rebuilt China, but now it's gotten to a point they've devalued their currency to take even more from us. I would not be throwing them a dinner. We've had this conversation. I'd get them a McDonald's hamburger and I'd say, we got to get down to work. Yeah, but I'd give them a double, probably a double-sized Big Mac.
So he'd go whole hog and get him the double. What do you think?
Well, here's what's happened since China became a member of the World Trade Organization more than 20 years ago. At the time, we had both President Clinton and then George W. Bush. They're all very excited about that. They supported China's entry into the WTO because they believed it was going to be good for American manufacturers and American exporters. In fact, what's happened is we have the largest trade deficit with China of any countries in the world. And last year was about $315 billion. That means our exports versus their exports, the balance is way off. So people on Fox Business this morning, I saw they're talking about, well, we can't be protectionist toward China. I will remind everyone that the last time the U.S. took a really strong stance against China's cheating on trade deals was George W. Bush, I believe in 2003, when he slapped those tariffs on cheap imported steel coming into the United States. 2004 was the last time George W. Bush and any Republican won the state of Ohio. We have to have a really clear view on what trade is supposed to do for America. Is it supposed to just accrue to the benefit of a handful of global corporations that do really well with this current deal with China that we have? Or is it supposed to redound to the benefit of American families?
Cheap stuff.
Beyond just getting cheap stuff at Walmart. Because as we saw yesterday, there is a price to be paid for this linkage we have with China.
Wow.
So I think to that extent, Trump is onto something regarding the trade deals.
Well, I just think, too, there's some problems with cyber hacking, and the fact that half of our Air Force has been mirrored and replicated and become China's Air Force with our cutting-edge planes and designs as well as ships. I mean, it's hard to throw a state dinner for people who are stealing all your stuff.
Yeah. I worked for President Reagan, and I remember in 1987 when Gorbachev came to the White House for the big state dinner and state visit. That was historic because remember, we were rewarding the Russians because Gorbachev was moving toward more freedom, more economic freedom in the country, toward glasnost, and that's why we rewarded him with the state dinner. But Reagan took a very different approach toward trade. Remember, he saved Harley Davidson. Do all these free trade absolutists think Reagan should have let Harley Davidson go down the tubes in the 1980s? I don't think so. So I think we have to be very, very prudent in how we do our trade with other countries. And I think this Trans-Pacific Partnership, that's still secret, the big secret trade deal that they're negotiating now, we better understand that China expects to become a member of the TPP, and if it works out the same as the WTO did, I think Americans are in for more linkage with China and more to our detriment.
Enough said there. Laura, let's move on to terror here. So